You know how like New Yorkers have a specific love for their city? I'm like that, but with Edmonton. Edmonton's better than these quote unquote greatest cities in the world. It's better than New York. It's better than Paris, London, Sydney, Hong Kong, Tokyo. These cities have nothing on Edmonton, Alberta. Now, if you don't know me personally, you probably think I'm insane for that statement, especially if you're either a hockey fan and or Canadian, because that's not generally the reputation my city has. However, I have a firm belief that either you live in the greatest city in the world, you move, or you do something to make the place where you live the greatest city in the world, in your opinion. I've chosen both options A and C. I'm not moving. Well, probably gonna have to move for grad school, but like, I'll be back. Like any good Edmontonian does. I went through a long time of hating living here. But then I also, like a good Edmontonian, found out I was just overreacting. I was just being silly. Edmonton has a bad rap for many reasons, some valid, some not so valid. I won't deny the conservative politics here, they kill me inside. They kill me so deeply inside. But I also do love the fact that Edmonton is so warm, so leftist, so inviting compared to the rest of the province. Even compared to our most comparable city, Calgary. Edmonton, politically, is way better. By no means are we perfect. Now, do not get me wrong. We have so many problems, but that's one. People call us Deadmonton. Originally, this is just because of the undeniable fact that we had a very high murder rate in Canada for a long time, but now that's gone down. You know, your likelihood of getting murdered in Edmonton, pretty low. Now people just call us Deadmonton because they think we're boring. And I go, we're a city of over 1 million people. If you think Edmonton's boring, that's on you. And it's not just people who like might come visit here for family or whatever. It is people who live here. What is wrong with you? If you live in Edmonton and you can't find anything to do, that is so on you. I hate the phrase Google is free, but quite literally, Google is free. Look up fun things to do in Edmonton this weekend. Our nickname is Festival City. And I understand economically, like, you know, might not want to pay for everything. Not everything in life is free. But a lot in life is free. A lot in Edmonton, you can go to a lot of festivals for free. You know, like, people think Edmonton is just Big Mall, and I'm gonna be so for real, I hate Big Mall. Like, I love Big Mall. To me, it's weird when I go somewhere and mall is not big, but West Edmonton Mall is by no means even close to the totality of what the city is. Significant impacts on the city, don't get me wrong, but there is so much more than mall with a giant lake and also pirate ship. Edmonton is a lot of the mosts and a lot of the biggest and a lot of the bests, which is weird considering we're just a random prairie city of just over 1 million people, including the surrounding area. We have the biggest antique mall in Western Canada. We have the biggest museum in Western Canada. We have one of the world's largest collections of historic streetcars. We have rare collections at the University of Alberta. We have so many things. We have North America's largest continuous green space, aka just the Edmonton River Valley. It's beautiful. I can just disappear into the woods when I need to go touch grass. You can't do that everywhere. And a lot of people are like, well, why would I live in Edmonton when I could go to Calgary or Vancouver and look at the mountains? Okay, you're looking at the mountains. Do you go to the mountains? The amount of people I know who live in Vancouver or Calgary and rarely ever go to the mountains is quite high. Because, yeah, I guess like skyline or whatever, but that's only so much of your quality of life. If all you need to be happy is to look at mountains, I'm very happy for you. However, I think for a lot more people, it's more about the community building aspect. It is more about the activities you can do. And if you can't see the mountains, that's okay. And you know, like, I'm wearing an Oilers jersey. I don't watch sports. I don't care about our sports record. But if I wanted to, I could go watch any sport I want. There's so much to do here. I could watch hockey. I could watch football. I could watch basketball. I could watch soccer. I could watch baseball. Like, I love Edmonton so much, I want to become a local guide. I've considered being a local guide. If you were watching this and you would want to go on a tour of Edmonton, let me know. I would so happily build a tour. We have such a rich history stemming from before even like any colonial settlers got here. Hello, the indigenous people here, the indigenous culture is so rich. All of the indigenous groups have inhabited this land and still continue to. That's an important thing I think a lot of Canadians forget, is indigenous people are still here. But I feel like you could forget that if you live somewhere like Vancouver, because whenever I visit Vancouver, I don't see indigenous people. I don't see them anywhere. But when I'm in Edmonton, I'm seeing cousins everywhere. You know, as an indigenous person myself, it makes me very happy. Knowing that I live in somewhere where indigenous people are so visible. Unfortunately, I feel like in a lot of other places I've been, that's not really the case. I just love my city. And is that so bad? It's treated me poorly, sure, but it's also treated me exceptionally well. Any place is gonna suck if you don't leave the house, if you don't make active efforts to find your community. That's not a where you live problem, that's a go the fuck outside problem. But the problem also is when you live in Edmonton and you love Edmonton, everybody has a problem with that. Regardless of if you're from Edmonton, if you're from Alberta, if you're from anywhere in Canada, people think you're insane for not thinking the place you choose to live is absolutely terrible. Yes, it is absolute hell living in Alberta often. Oftentimes, at the provincial level, being Albertan is a nightmare. At the municipal level, oh, but people are delightful. It drives me insane when I go to Vancouver and I mention I'm from Edmonton and everybody, either they treat me like I'm a stupid hick, they pity me, or they just like immediately shit talk where I'm actively living. What is the goal? Do you feel better about yourself because you live out in the coast? I'm gonna say Vancouver's not a great place to live. It is. There's many beautiful things to like about Vancouver. But also there's a lot to like about Edmonton too. And to talk to like someone who's very clearly a city person, I would say. You know someone from an Albertan town when you see one. You know when someone grows up in rural Alberta, or even rural BC for that point, or rural anywhere. So I'm gonna go somewhere like Vancouver and clearly not look like I'm visiting from Lacombe, and then be like, yeah, that's just because you're simple-minded and from the countryside. I've lived in a city my entire life. Thanks. A metropolitan area. The northernmost metropolitan area in the world, in fact. I'm very yuppie. I'm very fragile. I'm very city. Just actively pretending like I'm something I'm not. And then also, like, if I say I'm from Edmonton, they take pity on me? Like, oh, poor you still live there? Oh, poor you're still stuck there? One day you'll get out, champ. It must suck living there. Why do people automatically assume my living conditions are terrible? They're not. They could be improved, but the ways I see improving my life are like doing things as in moving further into the city, getting more incorporated in Edmonton. Why are we prescribing a sad position on me when I live a very full Edmontonian life? I have a cool job. I frequent cool places. I know all the cool local businesses. My goal in life is to be a community builder, a community maker, a creative community space in the city because it's a good place and I want to give back to it. I want to continue the beautiful communities that I am a part of. If you did the reverse, I don't think someone would appreciate me going up to them and being like, oh, you live in Vancouver? That's so sad. You're probably living in a shoebox and you never see the sun. Oh, that must be terrible. You know, I'm from one of the sunniest places in the country and it's just beautiful. And I can't imagine like I hear people in Vancouver, they just have a loneliness crisis going on. That must be terrible. How lonely are you out here? That'd be insane if I said that to a stranger I'm making small talk with. I would look like an insane person, no? Lastly, it's like just like, not even considering me just being like, I fucking hate Edmonton. I'm not on your side because you're just putting out yourself as an elitist asshole in a similar way that the pity party does, but like just a bit weirder and more aggressive. I will allow people from the other two prairie provinces to have a little bit of leeway. They can kind of commiserate, you know? We can commiserate together. Like the only city I'm allowing to somewhat shit on Edmonton is Calgary, and that's only because it's friendly fire. It is an equal exchange, because as much as these cities might hate each other, as much as these cities are feuding, at the end of the day, we're in the same boat. We are still in the same province. We are still fighting that fight together. We are equals. I think I live in the greatest city in the world. But returning back to my original point, if you think you live in the greatest city of the world, I'm not going to disagree that you think you live in the greatest city in the world, because my conditions for living in Edmonton make it so it is the greatest city for me. And I can also understand that this is not the greatest city for everybody. But I'm not going to shit on someone just because they go, you know what, I love living in Saskatoon. It's beautiful. And I go, well, why would you live in fucking Calgary? But once again, friendly fire. Because once again, we're like, much like High School Musical, we're all in this together. We are fighting the good fight against two things, rats, and more importantly, Marlena Danielle Smith. And don't even get me started on the weird elitism of Eastern Canada. By Eastern Canada, I really just mean Ontario and Quebec. Because as much as Quebec wants to pretend like they're not in all this, Ontario and Quebec really work together to be assholes to the rest of the country. The Maritimes, beautiful, wonderful. Halifax, I hope you're doing splendid this fine evening. But if I find out you're from the GTA, and then you try and talk shit about Edmonton, if you are from Mississauga, don't speak. If you have to move from a city of 1 million people to a city of just a few more million people to feel like you have things to do all the time, I don't think you'll be happy. I don't think that's the key to happiness, because if you live a place where there is something to do every day of the week, and you just move to a place where there just happens to be more things to do every day of the week, you're not going to actually leave the house and do those things. That's not going to be your motivation, because you're going to also move to this new city and be alone and not have community and not have anyone to go out to do these things with. There's most definitely so many valid reasons that someone might want to move to a bigger city, you know? But if you're just like, yeah, there's nothing to do in Edmonton, all I do is, like, go to Walmart. Like, what? Make a day out of walking around downtown. Some things in Edmonton I do feel like I come from a privileged position to speak on. Like, I'm not afraid walking around at night here. I am also an imposing, like, 6 foot. I look quite mean, and I'm also confrontational. Like, understand that some people might feel unsafe, but I feel like that's just a general city problem. A lot of the problems that Edmonton has as a city are not unique per se. They are Canadian city problems, and people try to point fingers at Edmonton to act like we're terrible just because we happen to have these problems. I also hate when I am traveling and someone finds out I'm from Alberta and they immediately just bring up our provincial problems, like, as if I didn't know them already. Like, did you know, like, Alberta sucks because of your government? I know that. You don't want to know why I know that? I live in Alberta. Thanks for the heads up. It's like when I stand up and someone goes, oh, you're really tall. Did you know that? Yeah, I didn't just spread up in the last moment between when I sat down and I stood up. I didn't suddenly become 6 feet tall. When I'm just trying to travel to another city, because I enjoy travel and I enjoy exploring other urban environments, I don't need to be reminded that, yes, the place I live in has problems. I'm acutely aware of that, actually. What do people think they're gaining out of bringing up these things that I obviously know about my own home? There are ways to have conversations about people's hometowns that are more productive, that aren't so elitist, that aren't just putting someone down for the fact that they live somewhere. Once again, it's not like I'm living in a small town and there's genuinely, like, 2 streets and a gas station. I guarantee you, if you look it up, there is a festival happening either this weekend or next. Edmonton residents think there's nothing to do. And to that I ask, when was the last time you went to the TELUS World of Science? When was the last time you went to Fort Edmonton Park? It's probably been a long time. Go on a hike. You do not have to leave the city or have any proper hiking gear to just walk into the river valley, follow very clearly, very well-traveled trails, and just explore nature a little bit. Like, go to Chinatown. There are walking food tours of Chinatown for very low prices. I live in the greatest city in the world. I can't wait for us to get a PWHL team one day. That way I can get an inaugural season jersey and it just says Edmonton across the front. And I'll be so proud. I'll be so proud because I live in the greatest city in the world. And a part of what makes it great is that I am invested in creating a great place to live. And not only is it me who's invested in making this a great city to live, but so are so many people. The Edmontonian pride is so beautiful. It warms my heart. I love the fact that there's a community here. That's all. That was all. Let me know why you love Edmonton. I will not allow just pointless hating comments. If you want to critique Edmonton, you have to be able to cite your sources. You gotta bring up valid points about why you do or do not like Edmonton. Because I will be able to disagree with you. I will have the arguments. I will have the receipts. You are going up against #1 Edmontonian, and you will lose. Good night. I hope you dream of Edmonton.